Now, back to the Big Go. The Mac Tools U.S. Nationals on WFO Radio. Here's Joe Costello.
Back at Lucas Oil Raceway, Joe Costello here with you. The Big Go. We haven't done any pro stock. We haven't done enough pro stock talk this weekend. I don't know why. We haven't done a lot of pro stock talk because they're all working, trying to figure out the conditions. A couple days ago, it was like running on the sun. Today, not so bad. And we are joined by Alan Johnson. What's up, Alan? Welcome back.
Well, I'm glad to be here because I've been in such a bad mood all weekend because we hadn't been running worth a darn. I probably wouldn't have come if we hadn't picked up this morning. But for you, Joe, anything.
Well, what if you hadn't have picked up this morning? You'd have come up anyway?
Probably, just for you.
You know why? Let me tell you. The fans out there, there's a lot to learn from a racer who's going through a tough time, I think, about overcoming adversity, about how you're going to tackle it. We know you're going to get back up there eventually, and we want to learn how you do it. And I think sometimes when things aren't going wrong, it makes for the best interviews.
Yeah, we've struggled all weekend, and we took a car, apart, every bolt of it last night till about 2 in the morning and went through and found one little gremlin and fixed it. So these cars are just, pro stock cars especially, are just so finicky. The least little bitty thing gets out. Earlier in the year we had a fiasco with a tire gauge that got dropped and raced a whole race with it off. Just the least little thing. Those cars are monsters. At
least you can find the gremlin. And in that case, was it a eureka moment? Like, what is it? It's this. And you came out and look at your last run was a great one. You jumped up to number 6, 664.3, and that's in what I would call within the margin of error, within 200s of pro stock.
We had a couple of hundreds left because we was a little bit afraid this morning. You know, we knew we'd found something and thought it would fix it, but we're still afraid to really get after it. So had a little left on the table there. So we'll come out this last session. Hopefully it's going to be the best session of the whole weekend and light the board up.
Changing weather has been the story of this U.S. Nationals. The previous 2 days, people were saying while it was happening, it was a waste. Not a waste necessarily for the fans. The fans are here to watch cars go down the track and hear the sounds and all of that. But as far as the end game, what we're going to see today and this afternoon is really where all the qualifying is going to happen. And I expect to see some more shifting.
Yeah, I think the way the weather's doing right now, I think the last session's really going to be the best one. And that's what we're hoping for because the Mopar Dodge Avenger is fixed. The team is in a little bit better spirits, and we're going to go for that pole on the last one if the weather cooperates.
They talk about racing being a sport. Well, you're a guy in a machine, and the machine does all the work, and the machine, whereas college basketball, say, is a sport of obvious momentum. You can see the momentum shift between two teams. Football is a sport of this emotional momentum, and if a team gets down, they get rolled over. Racing's the same way. If a team is not emotionally right, they can get rolled.
Oh, we've been a wreck all weekend. Everybody frustrated, temper short, 100 freaking degrees outside. It's just you got to bind together. But our Mopar team is an experienced veteran team, and when things like that happen, we all sit down and pat each other on the back and say, whoa, let's bind together here and figure this out. So that's what we did, and hopefully we can take that and have a good car for tomorrow.
Now, I've been asking everybody about their first big go, the first experience, not necessarily as a racer, but just the first time you walked through these gates and experienced this race.
It was with my dad. He was racing one of those Hemi cars back when I was probably 14, 15 years old, and he had always wanted to come to Indy, and that was his first time, and he got to come. And he actually won class in one of the Hemi cars, and I think went to the semifinals or the finals that year. So that was like, probably 74, 75, 76, and that.
The golden age.
Yeah. And he raced the Hemi cars here and drove other people's cars for a number of years. But my first time racing here was in a Super Comp dragster in 95, just to see. Dad and I spent that year just to see if we wanted to come back out here and race again. And shoot, the next year we was here in a Pro Stock car. So the rest is history. We've been with Mopar all those years, and this is my 15th or 16th Indy, I think, in a Mopar.
Wow. Speaking of Mopar, got some interesting things going. We spoke with Charlie Westcott Jr. the other day after winning the Hemi Challenge, and that's such a special, fun event. I know you were working. I don't know if you got some time, but what do you think about the fact?
Yeah, I got to come up and watch quite a bit of it.
How cool is that?
I love those cars. I've drove one before, you know. That's what my dad grew up on. So those are, other than Pro Stock, our favorite cars to watch. So I always come up. I didn't make every round, but I made 2 rounds, I think. And wore my Mopar apparel and got out there and supported those guys, them sportsman racers. That's very important to me to support them.
Can you believe how fast they got those things running?
Oh, I know. I think the record now is, 820 something?
820. Yeah. I think he said 822.
Yeah. I mean, that's unbelievable.
My eyes rolled back into my head. 822.
Yeah, they're fast, but they're, you know, they've sort of like a Pro Stock car. In the old days, the Pro Stock cars shooting wheelies and all over the track and all that. It's the way those cars was for a long time, and some of them are still big wheel standers. But the fast cars, you'll notice, they just drive straight off the starting line.
Wasted motion, upwards is not forwards, right?
Yeah, they've just refined those cars so much over the last year, 4 or 5 years. And the Mopar Hemi Challenge is a big reason for that, because of the money that's put up by Mopar and just the notoriety these drivers get to even compete in that thing. It's almost like a pro class here at Indy.
It really is. It's funny how money and prestige motivates.
Yeah, it is.
And you guys are after it. The U.S. National starts the run for the countdown, even though this is the final race, but the countdown is where it's at. Last year you went into the countdown. People were thinking that you had a real shot, and we all know what happened there. You out for would you call it redemption? Would you call it righting an old wrong? But you have an opportunity. You got a car certainly good enough to win the championship.
Yeah, we're going to have to be mistake free. You know, Greg and Jason have stepped up a little, and they're really fast right now. We're probably equal with Mike, so there's 4 of us there that are pretty close, and then you got the Cagnazzi cars real close. So you got to be mistake free. You got to drive like a demon, and that Hemi engine's got to haul the mail. So got to have all 3 to win it. I don't care if you're Greg, Jason, me, or Mike. You got to about be perfect.
And a little luck never hurts.
Oh, I love luck, but I don't ever get any.
Maybe it'll all come at once.
Yeah.
Alan, thank you very much. Thanks for taking the time.
All right.
It seemed like you're in a good mood.
Thank you.
What good better. Performance we'll do.
A little better now.
There it is. Alan Johnson with us here on WFO Radio.
The Mac Tools U.S. Nationals on WFO Radio.